Hello, welcome to Paul's Tape. And the other day, I was sent a video of this pastor that had these dreams, right? And they were like, he was like seeing the future. It was like he was getting these premonitions of the future in these dreams, shown to him by some unknown force. Maybe he thinks it's like God or Jesus. But anyways, the thing is, they really creeped me out, man. I watched this thing, and I'm agnostic, you know what I'm talking about? So, but, I believe that, who knows what the truth is. What is the truth? I have no idea. I'm not trying to say I do know. I don't know. But by being that, I mean, being religious is a possibility. Any religion could be the real thing, could be the answer. I don't know. It could be any of them. It could be none of them. I don't know. That's agnostic. But what is my take on this guy, on his prediction? It's really creepy. Let me...
December. I want to share 3 specific dreams that I've had recently, going back to December. 2 that I've had this week, both Monday and last.
So this guy seems very sincere. And in short, he had 2 dreams. I think he said 3, but they're kind of like 2. One happened in December, where he had this dream. I think it's the first time he had a dream like this, and he talked about things that were happening within the next 6 months, so up to this point. And then he has some more dreams just like June 24th, so it's really recent. And he talks about the next 6 months. So, pretty creepy. Anyhow, so, I'll let you listen. Let me let you listen to what's going on here. Some of his first.
Then, in the vision, I saw people marching. I saw protests. I saw people wearing masks. I saw lines going into hospitals. I saw typical medical doctors with needles or syringes. I saw people on ventilators. I saw people who were very, very sick, very, very ill. I saw newspaper headlines trumpeting thousands of people getting sick. I saw ambulances just flying down roads. And then I saw cities on fire. I saw buildings being burned. I saw protesters with masks. I saw people who had their fists in the air, people who were yelling and screaming, angry at the world. I saw courthouses. I saw state houses surrounded. I saw people who were mad at the world. I saw guns, shotguns specifically, put in the air, held like this. And I saw barriers within cities. And I told several men in my church about this, and I can confirm who those men were, and they'll confirm that what I'm telling you is what I told them. I saw absolute chaos. And the other thing I saw was vultures flying over large cities. And not just the ones that were burning, but I saw vultures flying over the cities. And I saw smoke rising, and I saw people fearful. I saw people terrified. I saw people inside their homes and looking out the windows, the curtains of their windows, with guns in their hands, because there was.
So that was the first part. That was back in I think he said in December. So everything he said basically came true, right? So you had the rioters, they had the people who were sick. It was chaos, mayhem. So everything he said was true, but the only criticism, and he said he told people back then about his dream. Not a lot of people. It's like close friends, close confidants about this weird dream he had, and that everything came true. So he makes it sound like he actually did predict these things, and he actually has proof that he did. But he didn't like try to like make a video about it and pass it around, because it was just like an interesting thing to him. It's like, wow, that's really weird. And then everything came true. So that gives him his credibility to kind of make you wonder if the future stuff's coming true. Because really, this part of the video, I mean, so far he made this video after his last prediction, and they all came true. So it's kind of like what's it called? Tuesday morning quarterback or something. I don't know. After a fact, everything came true because he made it up. I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying potentially that could be true. It could be completely fake, But he seems legit. Let's give him the credit. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. It seems like so far he's right on the money. And so far, except for the vulture part, which might be symbolic for something, could be, who knows what it could be. I don't know. He mentioned the vultures, and maybe in other countries somewhere, vultures are eaten by, I don't know. don't know. I did see a really interesting video today of a eagle taking a shark out of the water at Myrtle Beach. That was interesting, but that wasn't vultures. Anyways, focus. So far, he seems like he predicted the last 6 months. So let's see what he thinks about the next 6 months. This is the creepy part.
October come up, and then I saw November, and this is when it got real to me in the dream. I think the intensity 3 times, instead of tapping it, I saw a fist ball up and it hit the calendar. And literally, the calendar exploded into the wall. The numbers seemed like they were 3D and they were just flying everywhere. And there was a cloud of chaos that started. And then the next thing I saw was I saw armed protesters. I saw fighting in the streets. I saw people pummeling one another. I saw businesses shuttered and shut up. I saw schools closed. I saw schoolrooms with cobwebs hanging in them, and like things like papers falling off the wall and posters falling, like no one had been in them for months. I saw bank buildings with the roofs being taken off. And it looked almost like alien abduction because money was just flying through the roof into some type of like a vacuum cleaner. I know it sounds kind of strange, but I was watching wealth just being taken. I saw politicians in back rooms making deals with people, patting people on the back and laughing and smiling and smirking. And I saw monuments. I saw Washington, D.C. burning. I saw Washington, D.C. blazing. I saw fires everywhere. I saw people being rounded up. I saw Chinese and Russian soldiers on the ground. And Russian soldiers were telling the Chinese soldiers to go and pick up these people, round up these people, secure this quadrant, secure this area. I saw blue helmets of the UN. I saw military things taking place. I also saw no sign of President Trump. I saw no sign of leadership in Washington, D.C. But the vultures that I had seen were now like gargoyles, and they were 10 feet off the ground, 10 to 15 feet off the ground. And they were just attacking people mercilessly.
Was that not creepy? Was it not freaky or what? Seems like pretty much everything that happened in the last 6 months will happen in the next 6 months, but just worse. It sounds really freaky, and it really bothered me. But I've been watching it over and over again to do this video, and I think I've watched it probably 4 or 5 times. And I did start to catch a couple things that makes you kind of go, For one, there's a lot of, in the first one, it didn't seem like there was very much symbolism. Do you notice that? In the first one, it was pretty much literal. In this one, going forward, there's a lot of symbolism. Basically, like when he was talking about the banks with the roof popping out and the money just getting sucked out. That's obviously symbolism. And then the vultures that were just giant, they were vultures no more. Now they're gargoyles picking at people. Well, I really doubt there's going to be gargoyles. So it's got to be symbolic or something. If it's even true at all, it'd be symbolic. I started, and then also, let's see here, what else? So the troops on the ground that were Russian and Chinese in the UN, plus the fact they were talking about backroom deals, and patting these congressmen and politicians, patting each other on the back, making deals, makes me think that a lot of this is symbolism. Even like I don't think there'd be Russian troops or Chinese troops on the ground, literally, but maybe. What they're trying to say is maybe there's some deals that we're making with the Russians and Chinese that I don't know. I don't even know the exact reasoning behind it, but I think a lot of it is symbolic. I don't think a lot of it is literal. So you gotta like break up what he's saying and think about what does it mean? You know, what could it possibly mean? I mean, definitely, I can see the riots easily. You definitely see this stuff going on if Trump wins and people are very upset about it, or if the election was somehow really skewed and cheated somehow. It was like people thought they got cheated out of the campaign. I can see a lot of rioting going on, especially if Trump wins. But you never know. It could be if Biden wins, or if Biden wins and all of a sudden says, you know what, I'm stepping out now and have the vice president become president. So basically, like he'd be like the president it wouldn't be the person who would be in office would not have been picked by the people. It would have been picked by Joe Biden, and that's not really how it's supposed to work. But this is just guesses. Who knows? I'm just thinking of possible reasons why people get very upset about who wins the election. So I don't know. Okay, so do I think? Well, there's a little bit more. Let's go listen to the rest of it. Here's where it creeped me out probably the most, because he actually predicted something that already happened. That was like, I have not even heard of it until. So here's what happened. Let me go back a little bit. So it was a couple days, 3 days ago, I saw this video. And then yesterday, there was news about. Well, I'm not going to tell you.
We just had a yard sale to help fund a team going to Ecuador this next year, and we had a yard sale, and I had asked our secretary to get us some change for that yard sale. So in the dream that I'm having, I walk into the bank to get some change, and on the door it says there's no change available. I saw the sign, it registered in my mind, but I walked on in, and the president of the local bank was at the teller station. And she was going to be taking care of business. And I said, I need to get $10 in quarters for a yard sale. And she said, I'm sorry, but the U.S. Mint is no longer making currency or making change, like pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, half dollars. We're not doing that anymore. And I was like, well, what do you mean? She said, they've stopped doing it. And I said, well, how are we going to be able to charge $1.50 for anything? And she said, prepare for hyperinflation and just charge $2. And then she said to me in the dream, oh, and by the way, $1 and $5 bills will follow soon.
So I don't know if you caught that on the news recently, but just yesterday I saw some reports that there's some places that aren't accepting change anymore. They're just not accepting. Like I think it was Starbucks is not going in, and there's actually a coinage shortage right now. So they might stop doing the change, the coinage, just like he predicted. Of course, he made it seem like it's going to happen much further down the road, maybe in November or something. But this one happened because he made the video like a week ago, maybe a little over a week ago now. I think the 24th. And on my calendar right now, today's the 2nd. So, today's the 3rd. So he made this thing like a little over a week ago, but that news just came out yesterday. So that was like, what? This guy is right on the money. He's hit a schedule. He must be real. We are totally screwed. So are we screwed? Well, I'm still kind of on the fence. For one, I'm not sure if the future is completely set. Maybe if we continue on this course, the future will happen as he predicted it. But I think it's a lot of, like I said, symbolic. But I also caught something else earlier, and I kind of skipped over it. I'm going to play it right now. If you I'll show you what
I read 40 newspapers a day from all around the world. I keep up with news in other parts of the nations better sometimes than I hear here, because it's hard to know who to trust. But I get news from all over the world, all around the world, from both liberal and conservative sources. I'm very well read. I'm very understanding of how nations work. I've traveled quite a bit, and I'm not just making these things up. Okay, so the part that got me kind of suspicious, I guess, is the fact that he says he's very well read, right? So, and he listens to the news from all over the world, and he seems like he's just getting information everywhere, and I'm not trying to dismiss what he's saying, but I also question everything. It's just my nature. I question everything by nature. It's my thing. But so here's my logic kicking in, thinking, well, this is possible. What might have happened? He might have, if you're always into current events and you're into reading about the world, and you know what's going on, this stuff is gonna sink into your head, right? It's gonna you're always thinking about this kind of stuff. You might have a dream about stuff, about these things. It might be
because he's always thinking about it, maybe he read some stuff that foresaw this kind of things. Maybe he read some things about, who knows? I mean, he could have read some things about the currency situation somewhere weeks ago that just because I'm not really current on all this stuff, maybe he is. Maybe he read it somewhere. Maybe back in December when he had the first dream, maybe he read about the virus in China. Maybe maybe somewhere he read about how it might come to the United States and it could cause a big old universal epidemic or something. I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying this is true. I'm not saying he's definitely a faker. But I also want to be logical about the whole thing and look at the different possibilities. So maybe that actually happened. Maybe he maybe he cut out a lot of stuff that he maybe predicted also that never happened. Maybe there was more things that he kind of skimmed through and told his friends, wrote down, that didn't happen. But some things did. I don't know. Maybe he never told anybody in the first place. I don't know. I'm not gonna hold it completely for sure this is gonna happen. I don't want you to panic. It's like, this is definitely gonna happen. It might, and it might be a version of it, or it might be a place. Like he mentioned DC. Well, DC might have a lot of protests and riots, and it could be some fires and some cars getting knocked over and some people with guns. But maybe this is not a whole huge universal event that's going to affect people in Arizona or Wisconsin or Chicago. Oh, Chicago probably gets something. So they get everything. But anyways, but you know what I'm saying? It might be, you might have a vision. It's like the news. You watch the news. I've been in places with a story, and they focus that camera in a certain way. It looks like the whole world is on fire. But then they pan out, somebody pans out, and it's like just a little section. And everything else is fine, everybody's minding their own business, doing their own thing. There's no chaos. It's just that one little section. Maybe 2 guys are fighting, maybe 5 guys are fighting. It looks like the whole city is fighting, but maybe it's not. So maybe he's getting visions of events, but it might not be as big as it seems. I am not going to go hiding in a bunker. Of course, I don't live in Washington, D.C., but I think a lot of this is symbolic. I think maybe potentially after let's say Biden wins, right? Say Biden wins. Well, maybe that's going to cause the market to crash, and the money is just going to be floating away. Maybe. And let's face it, Biden has connections with Russia and China, I think. So maybe there are some backroom deals with the United States and Russia and China under Biden or under Trump. Who knows? So maybe that they're all working together. So and I know like Biden is more, he's more worldly in his views, whereas Trump is more America first. So in that case, maybe Biden will win, and he'll kind of bring the United States into a unity with the UN, because instead of UN will be on the ground, but maybe it's like that means the UN is part of the United States now, and maybe China and Russia are now part of the United States, because maybe Biden is more trying to bring the world together instead of America first, where Trump is like, we're blocking off all this stuff. Maybe what he's seeing is symbolic of Biden inviting the world to the United States to control us. I'm not even saying this is going to happen. I'm giving options, different scenarios of possibilities of what these visions could be. I don't know what they are. It's up to you to figure it out. That's just my take. It's not even my take of what's going to happen. It's my take of different possibilities, different scenarios. Don't freak out. Who knows? Be positive. Anyways, that's my take. After watching it a gazillion times, I started seeing some pieces that weren't really, I saw different possibilities per se. All right. Anyways, that's my take. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to him. Just think for yourself. That's all I got to say about that. Thanks for watching Paul's Take. Make sure you hit like and subscribe for more of Paul's Take.